You're listening to School Counseling Simplified, a podcast with easy-to-implement strategies for busy school counselors. Here's your host, Rachel Davis from Bright Futures Counseling.
Let's be real. The district-offered PD is not exactly what you need. You love your job, but you have a huge caseload, and you need applicable counseling strategies that you can use right away. That's why I'm starting my brand new training series called Coffee with the Counselor. Each month, I'll be delivering counselor-specific PD that you need most for the price of your daily Starbucks run. That's right, for just $10, you can show up to one of these live, engaging trainings. You'll get an included resource and a PD certificate of attendance as well. Each month, I'll cover a different topic, and January's topic is 7 ways to elevate your small groups. Guys, you don't want to miss this. I really hope you'll join me. Go to stressfreeschoolcounseling.com/coffee to save your seat. Also, if you're an Impact member, you get to attend all of these trainings for absolutely free. See y'all there. Raise your hand if you're ready to finally stop taking work home with you and actually start taking a lunch break. Or spend more time helping students, the reason you got into this profession, and less time doing stuff like bus duty. And if you're ready to finally use data to showcase the importance of your program and the progress your students have made. If any of those things sound like you, then I have got the ultimate solution for you, and that is my stress-free school counseling course. Now you may be thinking, wait, you've talked about this before. I have. So my stress-free school counseling course used to only be launched a few times a year, but now it is available all year long. And it is at a discounted price. This is perfect if you're the counselor who wants to work through it at your own pace. If instead of going through with a cohort and doing things together, you want to get to it when you can because you have a busy schedule. But first, let's see if you're even the right fit. Does this sound like you? You're a new counselor who wants to get started on the right track and not make mistakes and then redo things later. Or maybe you're a veteran counselor and you're feeling burnt out. Or maybe you're just a counselor who feels overwhelmed and stretched too thin. It's so hard to do all the things at once. Or maybe you're a counselor determined to change your program from reactive to proactive. Well, you're in the right place. Stress-Free School Counseling is totally for you. It's a 5-module digital course. So what that means is you get to watch video modules of me talking to you, just like I do here on the podcast, and teaching you in different areas like scheduling, organization, data collection, advocating for your role, and handling pushback. If this sounds like something you may be interested in, if you're a lifelong learner and can't wait to improve your counseling program, you're going to love this. And of course, it's stress-free. Head over to stressfreeschoolcounseling.com/enroll to get started today. Psst, come over here. I've got extra special news. We just added Stress-Free School Counseling to the Impact annual membership. If you join Impact, my membership for school counselors, at the annual rate, you will get the Stress-Free School Counseling course I was just talking about included for absolutely free. Hurry, this is a super new thing we just added, and I'm so excited about it. Okay, let's check out today's episode. Hey there, thanks for listening to another episode of School Counseling Simplified. So this month, as you know, it is January and the new year, and what better time to focus on productivity practices. So this is something in school counseling that it may not be as fun or come as easy to you as leading a small group or teaching social skills or something you're really passionate about. But what I find is the more productive that we can be and the more systems we can put in place to enhance our productivity, the more time we have for those direct student services, which is why you became a counselor in the first place. Okay, so I'm passionate about this. It's changed my counseling life. I've seen it help hundreds of other school counselors, and I cannot wait for it to help you. So let's dive in. Today, I want to talk to you about designing your day, what your day-to-day looks like, and how you can really maximize your limited time. I know some of you may be at multiple school sites. I know I used to travel back and forth between 2 school sites, and it can be really hard. On our Impact call last month, I was sharing that, and I feel like almost everyone on the call, like 90% of the counselors who were on the call, said they too were split between school sites or not 100% full-time somewhere. So it can be challenging. The struggle is real. So let's talk about how to really maximize your day. And the first thing I want you to think about when it comes to designing your day is to do a time audit. Now, you may have heard of a time audit. Perhaps you've even done one in your personal life to assess your social media use or anything like that. But at work, a time audit can be really efficient. So what you do is before you can determine how to divide your daily time, you must know where you are currently spending your time. So by using a time audit, you can break down your day literally minute by minute. This way you can see exactly what you're spending your time on. And believe me, you might be surprised. I'm talking about everything, like how long your groups are, how much time you spend scrolling social media in the bathroom, how many minutes you're spending refreshing your email, and even how long it takes to eat lunch. So you might be thinking, I don't know, how am I going to figure out how to do this? Well, it's pretty simple. And here's 2 ways that you can do it. So here's how you conduct a time audit. First step, keep it simple. You can use a good old pen and paper and a clock. It's simple as that. Just, the next time you have a typical day at school. And, I do know in our profession that every day is different, and that's what makes it exciting and fun. It's honestly something that the counselors are telling me all the time, that why they love their job so much is that every day is different. But maybe you have kind of a rhythm, or you could, if you want to get real precise, you could do a time audit average. So you could do every day of the week and then kind of see the trends, because I know each day will be different. But keep it simple, and you can just use pen and paper and a clock, and just as you start a task, write it down. So for example, okay, I just got to school, I'm going to check my email. Write down the start time, and then when you're done checking your email, jot down the end time. And then, okay, now I'm going to prepare for my small group. Write that down. Okay, now I'm going to lead my small group. This is how long it took. Or this is how long I took to eat my lunch. Or this is how long it took to teach this class lesson. Or this is how long I spent chatting with teachers about their students in between classes. Something like that. Or if you want to get a little more precise, you can use an online tracker. So there are some online tools like Toggle or Rescue Time that will precisely track how many minutes you're doing on each task. And some of these are really advanced, y'all. They'll even do like screen recordings, so you can see what tabs you're spending the most time on your computer. So let's do an example of what yours might look like. Let's say 8:30 to 8:45, coffee and check email. 8:45 to 9 o'clock, prep group materials. 9 to 9:40, social skills group. 9:40 to 9:50, scroll YouTube, looking for a counseling video. 9:50 to 10:05, student dropped in. 10:05 to 11, you had to proctor a standardized test. So that could be an example of like what the first half of your day looks like. Now, after you do that, I want you to break it down into 3 things. And this is where you can break out the highlighters, and it's really fun to like color coordinate. But you're going to do 3 categories here. I used yellow, pink, and blue. So for yellow, things you enjoy, but they're not a top priority. So for example, scrolling YouTube looking for those counseling videos to share your group, that's like really fun to find a fun video for your kids, but it might not be the top priority. Pink is things you enjoy doing that are a top priority. So this is the sweet spot, right? So that would be like leading your social skills group. You love leading your social skills group, and it's very important. Also, the student drop-in. You love making those connections and meeting with students and talking to them one-on-one, and that is super important as well. And lastly, the blue ones are things you do not enjoy doing, but they are a top priority. So these are kind of the bummer, like proctoring that test or prepping the group materials might be kind of time-consuming and annoying. Not your favorite thing, but it still needs to get done. Also, checking your email is one of those as well. So then I want you to think about what you can do with these things. So there's time wasters, and then there's everything else. So when it comes to your time wasters, these are your tasks that are sucking up your time, and they're primarily distractions. So they're taking up a lot of your time, and they're not really helpful to your big picture goals here. So what can you do there? You can delegate, eliminate, or limit them. So delegate, see if someone else or something else, perhaps like a automation system or something, can do the task for you. Eliminate, just get rid of it altogether. You would be surprised, some things you just don't need to do. This happened to me this morning. My to-do list gets junked up as well. And I'm going to do an episode specifically about to-do lists in a couple weeks. But my to-do list gets so junked up that on the 15th of every month, I have a task on my to-do list to clean up my to-do list, to basically look at all my things and just pick 3 at a time to like do immediately then. And a lot of times I find that the things I wrote down just like don't really matter anymore because I kind of avoided doing them for so long, or it resolved on its own. So that's what I mean by eliminate or limit them. So if you have a time waster that it's taking up a lot of your time and it's, kind of a distraction, make sure that you are limiting that and not, prioritizing that. And then everything else that is not a time waster, you need to prioritize and batch. So spoiler alert, next week's episode, I'm going to talk to you all about batching and why I love it. I am a mega batcher. But prioritizing means, looking at what you have to do and then figuring out what's most important and doing it first. We all know the concept of prioritizing. It's just actually doing it. And then batching is where you will link together similar tasks. So once you're already in that mode, you'll focus on that. Like I said, I'm going to do a deep dive into batching in the next episode. But after you eliminate or limit your time wasters or delegate them, you need to schedule everything else. You need to put it on your actual schedule, on your daily to-dos. And this is how you can determine what's left. And then you'll think of your priorities, right? So you're like, okay, some things I can get rid of. Here are the things I absolutely have to do. Where do they need to go? What needs to be done first? And that's when you'll start prioritizing. And that's kind of like the color coding I was talking about earlier. So first up, the things you enjoy doing but aren't a top priority. Then the things you enjoy doing that are a top priority, that's the sweet spot. That's the win-win. And then the things you do not enjoy, but you need to do them. So once everything has a category, then you can really figure out when to do it. If you're more of a visual person, like I said, you can do the color coding, but you could even do a Venn diagram. So, think about it. There's the one circle is the things you enjoy doing, and one circle is the things that are a top priority. And then in the middle there, where they have the crossover, that's the sweet spot. If you love it and you need to do it, best case scenario. But then if there's some things that aren't on here at all, you don't like them and they're not a priority, get rid of them, right? So you can kind of put everything in a different box here to see, like, I'm also visualizing like a Punnett square kind of. I don't know. For those of you who are visual, you'll figure out a beautiful way to do this. But basically you have the different categories, things you enjoy doing, things that are a top priority, that sweet spot overlap, and then there's the outside of the Venn diagram where they don't belong to either circle. So you don't like them and you don't need to do them, get rid of those altogether. Okay, I hope you guys found this episode on the time audit super helpful, and give yourself grace, right? Like, don't beat yourself up like, oh my gosh, I spent way too much time doing this and it wasn't a priority. Like, it happens. Just alone by listening to this episode and considering doing a time audit, you are going well above and beyond and trying to be the best counselor you can be. And again, all we want to do is help the kids, right? And the point of this prioritizing and this time audit is to implement a productivity system. So all of those tasks that might not be your strength or that get in the way of the other stuff, you'll have a streamlined system to do those, so then you can free up your time and space and your headspace, right, to help the students and do what you love the most. So I'm so excited for you guys. If you do a time audit, tag me on Instagram at Bright Futures Counseling, or just email me and tell me how it went. I would love to know. Yes, and I will talk to you guys next time for my other favorite productivity system, which is all about batching. Now, I also wanted to say, if this sounds kind of familiar, if you're like, wait a minute, what is all this productivity stuff? So I do have a course called Stress-Free School Counseling. You can join anytime. It's on sale all year round. And this is just part of Module 1, the time audit. So if you're interested in this kind of stuff, you will love Stress-Free School Counseling. It's all about enhancing your productivity so you can increase your impact and get the recognition you deserve. So you guys are going to love it. Here's the good news. We just added it to Impact. So if you join Impact at the annual membership, then you get the Stress-Free School Counseling course for free included, which is like a huge savings, a huge bonus. So that's something new we're doing. So if you're just interested in the course and you just want the standalone course, you can go to stressfreeschoolcounseling.com and check it out. Or if you are like, wait, I'm already interested in Impact, that's my membership for school counselors, but you also want the course, then I would totally recommend doing the annual, because when you join Impact Annual, you get the course for free. So that's just a new thing we started for 2024. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. Okay, guys, I will talk to you next week. Bye. Oh, and one more thing, I don't want to forget, please join me next week at my first Coffee with the Counselor. This is my brand new training series. I'll be doing them every month. It's included for my Impact members, but anyone can attend the training for $10. So it's called Coffee with the Counselor because that's literally the price of your daily Starbucks. You might be thinking, it's like 7, but you probably get a muffin. Anyways, so I thought it was a fun way to kind of reframe it. Like, just skip your coffee out one time, make your coffee at home, and join me for this training. This month's topic is all about 7 ways to elevate your small groups. I'm so excited for this, guys. You're going to love it. It includes a resource, so it practically pays for itself, and you get a PD certificate of attendance. So you're going to love it. Impact members, it is free for you guys, but I want everyone to join, whether you're an Impact member or not. Again, it is next week, the 23rd, and I cannot wait to see you there. So please go to stressfreeschoolcounseling.com/coffee to save your seat. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening to School Counseling Simplified. You can find the links from today's episode in the show notes. If you'd like to connect with Rachel, she's on Instagram and Teachers Pay Teachers at Bright Futures Counseling. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any episodes of School Counseling Simplified. Talk to you next week.